Okay, so either Facebook or Google, okay, or Microsoft, any of the social networking sites, okay. So these guys, what they do is they allow you to, develop the applications, right? So while developing their applications, they allow you to, authenticate by using this ID. So maybe your application does not have any integration required with the Facebook, but maybe there's a form. To fill that form or to send that submit button, you need somebody to validate that. It should not be anonymous, right? So in that case, what you'll do is, in that page, you'll integrate with a third party identity verification. You can't say that, hey, you must have to we can't say that you must have to register with us. We can't say, right? We'll say that, we don't, if you don't registered, please use your Facebook to, sign in, okay, or Google. So that way, what they do is they would, post the comments, or they can, get in touch with us. So what we do is, in the background, as a developer, while doing the Facebook application, okay, while doing the Facebook development, what we do is, so in the Facebook, while developing the application, we would, collect few information like their email ID, their phone number, or their friends list. Okay, such things we would, in just a minute we'll collect it, so that it will be storing for us. Okay, na? So that we know, tomorrow if we want to contact, we can contact them. So adi ikkada man రాస్తున్నాం, provide access to subset of so and so email ID, all these, we're trying to, collect it from the scope. So as an admin, what you need is the developer will be giving you the app ID, application secret. So this is a key. This is the app ID, a unique ID, which given by Facebook, and that application's password is this to manage. Okay, so these two things we would get it from the Facebook, and we simply give it here, and in that website we would, we would configure something called redirection. So that page will redirect to actual Facebook page. Okay, there you enter the username password for the Facebook, then automatically it gets logged in. Same case with the Google authentication. Okay, so let's, if we want, let's 5 minutes, okay, max 5 minutes we can give it a try with the Google. Okay, so here if I go to the Google, let's simply choose this, how to do this link. So if I open in my Chrome, this is always new for me. So this is what we have to do. So what I'll do is I'll navigate to Google APIs. Okay, Google API is my applications. Okay, so example, I've already created, looks like some project long back here. So identity, it's fine. Okay, Google API is simple. I'll go here, Google Plus, if not enable API. So Google API. So we enable this. Okay, so while enabling, uh, credentials, create credentials for OAuth client ID, if I'm correct. Let me choose the documentation. So portal API enable credentials OAuth consent screen. Okay, this one. Okay, I choose as the web application. So this is my web client, maybe len506 example. Um, Authorization URI reader, right? So in authorization, the web application URL, copy the application. So this one, for example, this is the one. If this doesn't work, we'll simply ignore. File 6 dot azurewebsites.net. Say create. 1 second. Where should be authorized Java? Authorized JavaScript, then paste URI redirection into paste the app URL. So app URL is len51, right? So that's the one which we missed out, looks like yesterday. So let's configure that Java. Okay, this say create. So origin URI contain the path end with okay. So this should not be that. So now I got this. Here is your client ID. Here is your secret code. So let's go back here to Google Authentication. This is client ID. This is my path. Sorry, the secret. Click OK. I would say that this one, login with Google, save. So it is saved. Now the same app, if I try to refresh, once again, let me refresh.
IP change.
Yeah, now it is changing. See, it is pointing to the Google. So I should be log in now this time with my account. Then only it will come. Okay, so it's open now, right? So that's how you configure the thing. So I mean, to be honest, I have not developed any application now. Okay, I just use the authentication. Somebody is validated the user is a genuine user, not
Yes.
right. So that's into the app authentication side.
Okay.
Okay, same thing for the other thing, but we missed out somewhere. Honestly, that step.
Java.
Yeah, yesterday we missed Java. Okay, now also we are able to miss, but luckily we saw that. Okay, but the Facebook one, here it is actually. We forgot to, somewhere, this is actually this documentation is not up to date for the Facebook one. If you don't find as it is these values, I've seen many times, but the same thing if I Google somewhere to create an application in a developing an application in Facebook, then they give you proper steps. If you follow that and then you do this change, automatically it works. That's how last time I've done. I've not followed these steps because these are not working for me,
Okay.
because these steps are from Facebook developer, not from the Microsoft side. Okay, same case with a Twitter. If you have a Twitter, okay, you do the same thing. Okay, just the callback so that it goes there, and that's it. Okay. And okay, we have been doing this in the website, web based,
Yes.
right? Let's try from the uh, web app, actually, from the .NET framework. Or see, let me give me a second. The on should log off a user. So I think I should be able to launch Visual Studio. So I'm launching the Visual Studio. Okay. So how to do a web app? Okay. So to do the web app, okay, I'm just going to the app services. Okay, no, let's go here. Quick start. I'm gonna quickly create a Python, from web app based. Uh, so let's try this, small article, okay? How to do. So if you don't have Visual Studio, okay, install the Visual Studio. While installation, you get this option. Okay, you should be choosing the ASP.NET and the development, and also Azure deployment. So this gives you ASM and ARM, okay, both the things, okay. And by the way, this is a community edition which you can install. Community edition is a free, okay. So I did install the community edition if I'm correct. So I'll just go through my all these are something. Disconnect, disconnect, disconnect. Okay, so what I'm doing is now I'll just go to the file, new, okay, project. So this time I'm gonna create a project. Okay, if you look at here, not this actually. Let me close this. Yeah, if you look at this page, you are choosing the .NET based. If you are trying to create with a Node.js, PHP, Java, Python, all these are different things. Okay, the tutorial is the same. Okay, but but what you select within the .NET is important. Okay, so in my case, I'm choosing the .NET one. Since little bit .NET is familiar to us, we can easily create. Okay, so you have to choose the web and then ASP.NET Framework. So I'm choosing web here, ASP.NET Framework. Okay, I can give the web application name. Say example, I can say that this is um, okay. It's for me example, and I'm saving this in my uh, projects as example. Okay, solution name is for me example. Um, that's it. So now it will prompt, what kind of thing you want to do it. So I can, build MVC. MVC is a kind of, project, okay, where you can do the ASP.NET applications. Okay, so that's what he says. If you go here, use MVC, no authentication should be there. Okay, then click OK. So I'm just selecting that. Okay, the reason I'm showing the URL is you can do the same practice later point, because this is into development side, so you may encounter some issues later point. Okay, so now I got a solution as I explained earlier. I'll try to explain again once again. This is a solution explorer. That means what of the code you have written, that would be packed as a solution here. Okay, this side, the navigation. This is the main coding area. This is the output area. Okay, so now in my program, okay, I have the code. That's the code is this. Okay, here it's somewhere in the content. This is the site content. Okay, like this, the code is there here. Example. Okay, for now, um, home example home page. So home page has about index. Okay, so these are all written here. Okay, in under code. Okay, so example, if I want to run this code, how it looks like. If I want to see, I can select the solution. I'll say just the not the rebuild. I would say just build. One second. uh, Solution, this one solution. Okay, uh, I want to run without doing without publishing actually. Okay, so under debug actually, I have an option to build without debug. Uh, if I if I build this solution, let me see. It should open the page. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we can refresh. We can go into the publishing mode basically later. Okay, let's see. What best I can do it is I can actually deploy this. Okay, so I can
Okay.
deploy this to Azure actually, but I don't want to deploy. I wanted to show before deploying how it looks like. That's the
Mm-hmm.
intention. Okay,
Okay.
so okay, so uh, let's follow this article. Okay, that's the best way. So once you have done this, okay, what you can do is you can publish. Okay, so when you're trying to publish, actually it will ask for all those things.
Okay.
Before that, give me a second. I wanted to show you. Mhm. Where is that button?
Okay.
So this the option is which I was looking is you select the solution project. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
debug. Okay, without start without debugging. So that starts actually the web page. So whatever the code was written inside the solution,
Mm-hmm.
that will be available, visible. So example, if I go here index.vbhtml, it says that ASP is a free framework building great websites, right? So this is already ASP.NET is a free. So here I can say that I can change the code to something else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, say example, instead of ASP, I can make it as PHP example. Okay, so
Okay.
the code changes. Okay, so I can simply
Mm-hmm.
save this or the save all. Then if I debug again, debug and run without debugging, so now my page should be earlier page was with the ASP.NET earlier.
ASP.
Now it should go
Mm-hmm.
for the PHP example. So the developer changes the code, okay, the way he wanted. Okay, so we can't
Okay.
code, but maybe we can do small changes here, okay, as the admin. But the developer, what he
Mm.
do is he will code it, in fact. Okay, so
Okay.
once the coding
Okay.
is done, assume that this is the proper solution is there now. Okay, you have the proper solution now. So what you'll do is you
Mm.
select this. Okay, you'll say deploy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when you're uh, deploying, okay, this,
Uh-huh.
what would happen is this solution would go to cloud. Okay,
Azure.
let's, yeah,
Mm.
so let's
Mm.
let's see the documentation. What it says is if I'm correct, I was in this page, huh? This ASP, right? Yeah. So ASP.NET, so we followed all these. Okay, we changed a little bit in fact here. Now select your
Mm.
project and click on publish. So I'm just selecting my project, okay, and say
Mm.
publish. So now I get a three button option. If I little bit if I take this, I get a option
Mm.
now. So
Yeah.
you want to publish to your local IAS server if you have IAS server, or you want a folder,
Mm-hmm.
or you want to publish to cloud. So I can
Azure.
choose as cloud. Okay, okay, publish. Okay, now there is another window would come. Okay, if you remember last
Mm.
time in one of the class, we for the ARM templates, Okay, we signed
Mm-hmm.
in here, right? That's why it is coming up here. So if you're the new user, what happens is you get here as new account. So you have to log into that account, your as your
Yes.
account. Once you signed up,
Mm.
okay, it will be populating this window. Similar. So
Yes.
this is your unique web app name. What is the web app name? I can't definitely use len 506 because it's already taken up, right? So I can
Mm-hmm.
use some random one. Say example, this time maybe I can use len 507. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and my
Okay.
subscription I can choose here. Okay, whatever the subscription, if you have more than one subscription, you're free to select it. Okay, and now this is the resource groups you have. Whatever the resource groups you have, all are populating.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want this, okay, you want to create a new one, you can always create a new one. Say example, this time I'll say hey, let's create len 507, len 507 as my
Okay.
rm example resource group. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
org example resource group, meaningful name. Okay, so this group is getting created. See, okay, so a resource group will be created. Okay, now the
Okay.
service plan, as I said earlier, in your you can have one service plan for multiple websites, right? So that the cost
Mm-hmm.
can be shared. You
Yes.
remember, right, from the yesterday class. So now if you don't have, since we have a service plan here, it is coming up. Otherwise, you can choose your own, you can create a new button would come up. Okay, there you should be
Okay.
choosing a new service plan. So 507 is a app service plan. In which location
Mm-hmm.
you want. For example, I wanted West US 2 example. Okay, or maybe with a single core, or what cores you want. So based on that, pricing would go up. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
in my case I can choose maybe S1. Okay, this is going to cost me around 4,000 bucks. So
Yeah.
that means the first one, which is the earlier one, would charge 4,000. This one would charge
Mm-hmm.
4,000. 8,000 rupees I'm gonna pay,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Okay.
regardless of whether I use it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So S1, this is a plan. Say create. So now, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't show you that services. Services are other things that if you have any SQL services, all those you can configure this. We're gonna do
Yeah.
one more practical on the same Visual Studio, because
Mm-hmm.
this is just a plain website, right?
Yes.
But developers may work with a website and a
Mm-hmm.
database. So now a
Okay.
situation, maybe the next demo would be IaaS at
Mm-hmm.
the cloud, as well as the SQL also at the cloud. Okay, how best we can integrate this? This is going to be the
Mm-hmm.
demo, next demo. So now what is doing is it is deploying, and you get the output here. Okay, so and once it is done, it will start the website. So now it is
Mm-hmm.
uploading. Basically, if you see, it compiles and then it uploads to the site.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I would go to my Azure portal and check
Mm-hmm.
if anything is coming up here under resource groups. So in fact, it started. In fact, website automatically started. It has published my code, whatever the code was written. Say in this case, PHP should come,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Uh, Meantime, let me go to my resources. Then 507 resource group got created, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got service plan as 507 service plan. This is my website, right?
Yes.
So my website, if I start from here, it's very similar. There's no difference, right? So I can
Mm-hmm.
start this website. So I got, my ASP got replaced to PHP, right?
Yes.
So we have not changed the, for your information, we have not changed the headline. Okay.
Yes.
This is also the same thing, it's still, loading. No, sorry, not this. Let's close these things. Yeah. This is 506. 507 we wanted. So page, yeah, this is the page. Okay, so the page was
Mm-hmm.
already modified, right? Clear kada?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, so that's into the web app, how to publish a simple web app. Okay. Tomorrow, if I do any changes, okay, to
Mm-hmm.
my site, say I can, republish it, the way I wanted it. Example,
Okay.
PHP. So I can, simply save and I can republish it. Okay, the code.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll close this project. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take another project. Okay, altogether. This time with the SQL. So for your information, what we have done is we are almost ended with the web app. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we are slightly moving to the SQL server.
Okay.
Okay, so that is also in a SQL pass. We are trying to create a
Mm-hmm.
pass site. Okay, so let's
Okay.
actually first do the, yeah, okay, we can try directly the web app with the SQL. Then I'll jump into the once again only dedicated to SQL. Okay,
Okay.
so first thing,
Okay.
this is also a demo available from Microsoft. Okay, use the
Mm.
SQL.NET project. Okay, so simple project. So
Okay.
if you look at here, this is how it looks like. Anybody can go and update their new task here. Say example, I want to buy some potatoes. Example, so and so date. This is my
Mm.
task. Like that, everybody can update. This is simple website. Okay, for to-do
Mm.
list.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the website we are going to develop now. Okay,
Okay.
so for that, again, you need a Visual Studio Community Edition. Okay, in
Mm-hmm.
Community Edition, you can install ASP.NET as well as the Azure deployment. Okay, and then once you
Okay.
have done that, you download this sample. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this is a project source code. Okay, since we are completely new, what we can do is we can go to the source code, extract the source code. It's a lengthy one, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to rename this to uh,
Mm-hmm. Dot.
is with GB example. Okay, so
Okay.
cut this, and I'm going to paste it my C drive example. Okay, so this is
Mm-hmm.
the project. So I close my, if I have not closed, okay, let me close it. So if you have closed it, okay, Visual Studio, to open this project, if somebody is developed, okay, you have an option to, SLN file. This is nothing but your solution explorer, okay, or the solution file. So this is your
Yeah.
key, okay, to open in a Visual Studio. Okay, so example, even we did develop some applications. If you remember, under some projects we did, right? Under projects we did um, earlier, Len 505. These are the different projects we did. Somewhere we did even
Mm.
web app one also, I think. Okay, like this, these are the projects. Okay, Swami has done it somewhere. Okay, I don't remember the exact, but yeah,
Last
here,
but one.
yeah. So this one is a solution. If I want to reopen the solution, I simply double click this so that I get that same project.
Okay.
Okay, later I can deploy it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so in my case now, the solution file is in C drive. Okay, with with yeah, IAS and SQL, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, all right. Okay,
I
I don't remember. So today's date. Yeah, ISDB. Okay. So this is the ISDB. So what I'll do is simply I'll double click this. So this gets opened. So it says that, hey, you're trying to open this source code is not developed on your machine. Somebody has developed. Are you okay? Do you trust this? Yeah, I trust because I know what I'm trying to do. Click OK. Okay. So now I have the solution. Since I got the solution from somewhere, there could be possibilities that some absolute entries may exist in my solution. Okay. As a best
okay.
practice, what I can do is I can clean them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything is there, it just cleans. Okay. So in fact, there's nothing in this because it is given by Microsoft. Say example, clean would useful if you're developing on 2017 version now, but the old version is 2015. Example, you are importing. There could be a possible to to upgrade as well as the during the upgrade you may have to go for clean.
Okay.
Okay, as a developer, he knows that. Okay,
Mm,
so acronym. This is the page. Okay, so we downloaded the source. Okay, now
mm,
after that control phi, see, this is where it's there. Okay, so control phi is nothing but your debug start debug um, without debug. So that means locally it will run. How it looks like, let's see. So it starts my Chrome because that's my default web browser. Okay,
okay.
so it's opened. Okay, so it's opening on port 31894. Okay, I'm just closing other pages. So 31941 page. So this is the app for to-do list. So somebody can update their to-do list.
Okay.
That is what all about. So there's nothing, no entries now. So let's see, create new. Okay, I can say that. um, hey test one. Okay, example. So there's a hey test one is there. So I have to catch a bus. Example, catch a bus. Okay, example. um, okay, go to lab. Example, or set up a lab. Example. So these are my to-do list examples. So this is working fine, right? But if you remember, I've not yet configured anything in SQL, but still it is storing and it is able to view me because Visual Studio has something called Visual Studio has a feature, a virtual SQL kind of thing, which stores these data altogether.
Okay.
So just to run in the run environment, it will store and it will show you. Okay, that's fine. Okay,
Okay.
just for the running purpose. Okay, if I rerun this again, the same solution, or if I republish, I may not get all this data. Okay, but it is just showing me, hey, this is what the data is there. Okay, now how do I publish this? So there are few things Microsoft asks us to modify. Okay,
Mm,
let's go through that.
okay.
So because they don't want to give us complete free one, little bit changes.
Mm,
Now right click, publish. Okay, so when you're publishing, right, these steps. Now the publish, we talked about publish. So after this, if you're not signed in, it will ask to sign in, add account.
yes.
But in our case we have
Mm,
already account. Then it will ask to fill the resource group and your subscription, your resource group, and then your app service plan, right? So we can
yes.
use that app services plan, but after that, don't click on create, which we did in the last step.
Mm, mm, mm,
Don't click on create. Okay, instead what you do is go to the services. Okay, okay, go to the
okay.
services.
Mm, mm,
Okay, here go to the services. This is app service plan altogether. Go to the services, here additional services which are, so here you would be adding your database. Okay,
okay.
okay,
Okay.
and the database would be comes here. This is additional one which you want to deploy
Mm,
into in your SQL server. SQL server
okay.
is getting deployed into Azure from right from your Visual Studio.
Mm, mm,
Okay, there's no DBA, there's no guy. Okay,
okay.
so this is what the SQL configuration, which is talking about. The most
Mm,
common mistake in this practical would be this step. Okay, so there's a connection string which is the database name. He has hard coded, not the database name in fact. Okay, but the connection string name is hard coded. Say example, my connection string name is connection string one. Okay, example. So this connection string one is hard coded as my DB connection. So it must be as it is. If not, your solution fails. Okay.
okay. Okay.
So after that, this is how it looks like. So y- if you are first time creating service plan, you will get three. Okay. If not,
Mm-hmm.
you already have a service plan earlier. So when you are trying to go little bit up, one second. So if you're trying to do it, okay, here instead of two, uh, when you click on services, actually, uh, as a first step, what we have done is we fill this hosting. Later, for the SQL purpose, we clicked on this. Then we added this. Before adding
Mm-hmm.
this step, actually here there would be only one. Okay, so okay, here now three are there. Okay, sometimes you may see two. So what are those? If your already service plan is available, it will show you as this
Mm-hmm.
service plan is available. Okay, so here service plan is there and the database is getting added. This is your website example.
Yes.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
now what will happen is, of course, this is actually SQL database. Okay, this is
Mm-hmm.
SQL server. Okay, one
Mm-hmm.
SQL server have multiple databases. Am I correct?
Yes.
So multiple databases can have. So here you would see three of them. Okay, and later you create. Then this actually gets published to your cloud. Okay,
Oh,
clear? So let's try that.
yes.
Okay, so now as a first step, we right click and say publish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now where do you want to publish? Yeah, I want to publish to Azure. So publish. So now if I have already signed up, okay, I get this. Okay, if not, I have to add here sign up, then your application name, your trial, and your resource group, your app service plan. So let's take my this name is to do list. Okay, if you see here, it is actually green checking is my do I have this name as a unique or not. It is trying to validate,
Okay.
right? So I'll give as a proper name, maybe nobody has. Okay, to-do list land 506. This is right, yeah. So I can give this so that nobody will have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this name. Okay, now the free trial. My resource group is I think land 507. Okay, so
Okay.
let's put this also 507 so that while doing delete all those things it's easy. So I have here two service plans. So which one you want to use? So the one which we created is the first one was the South Central, that is 506 one. 507 was created in West US. So let's take West US because these two are from the West US, right?
Mm-hmm.
So say don't click on create. Okay, so go for services or add additional. You click either here or here. Okay,
Okay.
so I like to go here. Okay, so now I don't have here anything in fact here, right, at this point of time. So I should get here three, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I go here, okay,
Okay.
if I go here and click here, what happened? It is taken here, the same step, right? So I went
Mm-hmm.
here, click here, additional. So this is nothing but this. So here I'm trying to add my SQL Server.
Well,
So as I said, first what you're trying to do is you're trying to create SQL Server. After that, there is a database you're creating. Okay,
okay.
here data connection is my data connection, which you may, when you're trying to do the practical, you may do something wrong here. Okay, so be careful, this step. Okay, this
Okay.
is not default. Wantedly Microsoft gave. Okay, so here I'm giving as a new SQL server. So I don't have any SQL server, so I'm giving, to-do list SQL server, or maybe, learn 507 is my
Mm-hmm.
SQL server. Okay, what's the user ID and password you want? So I'm giving, is it Azure admin? I think, yeah, I can give this. So the password which I want to give, okay. Now, what is the database you want to create? So I want to create LAN 507 to-do list,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
or maybe I can give very simply uh, to-do list app. After that, don't click on OK. Make sure
Mm-hmm.
that you change this. Okay,
Okay.
let's go to the documentation. So in the code, it was hard coded. So we did all these, right? We did SQL Server, we gave the password, right? Connection string. So make sure that my DB connection. So this is what my DB. If you change, okay, if you want to change this name, you can go to the models and my database context.cs file. So where is that CS file? In the solution. Okay, in the solution you have to double click and edit that file.
Okay.
Okay, if in case if you do the wrong one, so give that option. So I'm just taking it as it is. Okay, connection string is this. Okay, click OK now. Now what happened? I got 2. Okay, so but in the article it was showing 3, right? But here you only got 2 because in the article they also explained service plan as a new. Okay, in our case app service plan we are talking about. Okay, in our case we have already app service plan, so we are utilizing that. So that's why I got only 2. No need to worry.
Okay.
Okay, so after that nothing actually, you're able to create it actually. Okay, so here you got 3 because one is app service plan, which I said this is, if you're creating as a new, you will get it here in other way. So since I have already, I'm not going to get that, right?
Okay.
So create, so this would create me database server and then a DB, then my application, and this application have a backend database connection, right, with models dot here this name. Models file has this connection string. So by using that connection string, the web page will open like this. Okay, that's a plan. So let's create. Before creating, let me show you what is there in the SQL. Okay, so if I go to the, I'm talking about platform as a service admin now. Okay, pass. So I should go to my SQL service, which is my databases. So if I click databases, I don't have here anything, right? Soon I create that, I would get here my server name, that is SQL server name. Later point I get my databases.
Okay.
Okay, let me create it. So what is your server name? SQL server name would be len507, right? And the database name is to-do list app. అన్న అర్థమవుతుంది కదా? If you see here 4 or 5 got deploying. Let's open up my resource groups. So nothing came here. If we go to my resource groups, len507 RC, it's actually creating my 507 to-do list app. It got created. If you're in hurry and try to open this, it will show you a default web page. Say example, I'm very hurry. Okay, it's not even populated this. So if it is populated, okay, example, it is populated. See, you'll get a different website, not your actual code. See, this is not your code. This is not your code, right? So the reason is it is still not yet published. So now it is publishing. Okay, it is now publishing this code. So it got published. Now it's opening also the same website automatically. Okay, now you may get it the to-do list application. Okay, in meantime we'll go to here and refresh the database to see have a database server. So if I click on this database, I get more information here. If you notice here, the server name is this, what we have created. Okay, and my application, my database name is, my server name is this. Okay, this is my database name, in fact. Okay, I don't want to talk more. I don't want to talk now more on the database side. Let's talk on the application. Then we'll come to the SQL server.
Okay.
len507. Yeah, now you have a app ready, right?
Yes.
My to-do list. So example, if I add uh, go home example. This is my to-do list. Okay, if you open this website, maybe in your somewhere in your computer, and open to-do list LAN 507 Azure websites, or let me chart send you in a chart. Okay, this website. So whatever I'm updating here, go home, also will be available for you. Okay, you can create some more, maybe go for
Oh,
okay, go to party example. Okay, example, take kids out. Okay, maybe I want to have this to be scheduled to a different date, so I get date changing. Say example, I'm able to change, and maybe the month would be 12th month. Since I have a Christmas holiday, I can go for
mm,
to-do list on 2017th on December month. Okay, so you can also give it a try. So this app is now published, right?
yes.
So this is
Mm,
storing.
mm,
Okay, so if you are so now the database is in cloud,
mm,
right? So let's see how to connect it. Okay, so here the show connection string is there. If I put this connection string, okay, I can connect with ADO connect. Okay, ODBC connection is this, PHP connection is this. Okay, in my code, if I use this, I can connect it.
mm.
Okay,
Okay.
uh, there is something which I want to show you in this class. Uh, come on. Docs. Let's do this. There is something that can be queried directly from the console right away from here. I'm just looking for that. Uh, okay, that's fine. Okay, database masking. What is that? Okay, no, this. There's a thread related. I'll talk on all these later. So there's nothing. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now let me connect with my SQL server to Cloud SQL Server from my local machine. How do you connect normally, Anna, to SQL Server?
Local machine.
Local machine ಎಲ್ಲ connect అవుతావు normally?
ನಾವು ಈಗ SQL ಇದಂತದೆ
Studio
ನಮ್ಮ
management, right?
ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್.
So let's I do have, I think, SQL Studio Management. This is one. Okay. So I'm just starting my SQL Studio Management to see whatever the data we entering. Okay. Here example, whatever you or me entered. Okay. No, even enter చేయలేదైతే. Okay. So this should be visible in my Studio Management, right? So
Open.
yeah. So here the server name I should enter. Okay. What is the server name? This is my
Learn.
LAN 507, right? So this is server name. I'm just copying. Okay. Example. Okay, what is the user ID? So user ID is Azure admin. Okay, so I'm saying remember, so it gets connected. The password is wrong. Okay, give me a second. Hmm, okay, the password is correct now this time. So I'm able to log in. If you see, there is a blue database icon, right?
Mm.
If you're getting that, that means it's a cloud database.
Okay.
Okay, so now I have a database. This is my database. Okay, I can see my tables. Okay, I can query to my
Mm-hmm.
tables. Say example in to-do list, select top maybe 100 rows and show me, what is the data it is there. Okay, so go home, go to party, take kids to this date. So it's there, right? So whatever I'm adding, okay, I'm able to see in the database. Getting
Mm-hmm.
me?
Yes.
So what we have done is we actually created from Visual Studio, sorry, not this icon, from Visual Studio uh, application along with that SQL
Publishing.
Server. Okay, and in a SQL Server we created a DB, right? If you want, one more DB, you can always create if you have a permission. New database, this database gets created in the cloud now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so little bit slow at this point of time because you're talking about the cloud. Okay, let's leave this. Okay, the creation part from here. Let's do it from the console. Okay,
Okay.
go to the database. Okay, you are getting this option database, all those things. I don't want to do it now. So if I want to add, I can simply go to the database, add. Now when I'm trying to add, I get here, this is maybe second database. This is second GB. Okay, example, my free subscription, the same one. uh, you want a blank database or any sample database? Example, adventure walks is my uh, sample database I wanted. Okay, example, so that I'll get some data, right?
Mm.
Now, server is LAN 507. So on the same server, I'm creating one more database, right? So do you want to use Elastic Pool? Elastic Pool is, automatically increases the configuration. Okay, so
Okay.
database size. Okay, now I'm going to talk about pricing. We did talked about everything, but not the pricing. So pricing matters here. Okay, but I'll take in the next 30 seconds. Okay, before that, there's a collation. Okay, collation is a language specific settings or the characters which stores in your database, right? For SCCM, there is a specific
Yes.
collation is required.
Correct.
Right? Similarly, here you have an option. Okay, now let me go to the pricing. Pricing is very tricky part. Okay, let's go to the pricing. Click on the pricing. Okay, pricing is completely based on the DTU. Okay,
Mm.
pricing is based on DTU. Let's look at the top level. One is a basic, other one is a standard, and the standard also has S1, S2, S3, something like that. Okay, here premium P1, P2, P3, and premium RS. Okay, for free trial. Okay, for free trial, you cannot have premium or premium RS. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can't have. So only you can pay with the basic and standard. Okay,
Okay.
in standard also not with all of them. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's the high level. Okay, now let's talk about what is DTU. Okay, DTU is a kind of calculation which does by Microsoft based on the
Mm-hmm.
data transaction units. Okay, so how much data is you're able to um, uh, do a transaction. Okay, basically. Okay, and what kind of you're giving the performance to the customer.
Okay.
Okay, so if you look at here, you started with the basic. Okay, to S0, S1, S2, S3, P1, P2, P4, P5. Okay, P11, P15. Okay, so
Mm.
in this what would happen is the charges gets you know um, applied more. Okay, elastic database is something you can go for um, heavily database, or you want pool of databases you want to manage, then you go for EDTUs. So that means it's not specific to one server. Okay, multiple
Mm-hmm.
databases you have, say example, database 1, database 2, database 3, database 4. So this database, out of 4 databases, one database want more DTUs. Okay, from the
Mm-hmm.
pool, the pool, one can get more automatically. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you can that's called elastic. Okay, So how can you know determine is there is a DTU calculator, okay? So you can use this DTU calculator, how much disk space, disk read and write performance you want, how much processors, how much log you want to flash. All these are calculates. So how many cores you want to
Mhm.
I want to know 5 cores example, okay? So so you have to download this calculator utility and then do the SQL performance tuning, okay? So if you do that, you would get the more information, how to do the DTU calculation in fact, okay? But just give you to the code demo, okay? Say example, I'll talk on this again once again, the DTU part, okay? Because the key is DTU, okay?
Mhm.
So if you look at here, the DTUs, if I a little bit change, okay, I'm getting S0. If I change S1, S2, okay, so a little bit it is increasing, okay, and the pricing also changing per month. I may have to pay 1,48,000, which is huge, right? And this, and if you look at the database, also storage also getting changed.
Yes.
See, right? So storage is this. If you use little bit also performance wise, you need to end up that, right? So in our case, we maybe go for S0 basic one. Okay, we don't want to go and use our entire billing.
Okay.
So you can use whatever the detail you want, okay, and then apply. So what would happen is now I have selected some servicing plan. Okay, that's called
Mhm.
S1 with 20 DTUs, 500 MB max my database size.
Mhm.
So I can create it. Okay, so this would create for me a database, and one more database I get it here. Okay,
Okay.
clear.
Yes.
Mhm. So if I refresh again, I would get almost, once this is completed, I would get it here one more database. Okay, so uh, in meantime, let's go to the slides, okay, because this should go under key slides. So let's open my keys, talk around the specific database on or on DGU part. So we did talk about the web apps, right? App servicing plan. Similar way, we do have for the SQL. So
Mhm.
I'm talking about. So these are the database plans. Say you have basic and S1 to S3, P1 to P11, okay, and premium RW also we have. So what would happen is the difference, okay, at least you can expect 3 to 5 questions in your exam point of view, okay. uh, this is the maximum database sizes in a basic 2 GB, here 250 GB, here 1 TB, okay. DT is 5 to here 10 to 100, here 125 to 4000, right? Point in time restoration is, that means if your database is down, okay, your DB can be restored from last 7 days, okay, here 14 days, here
Okay.
35 days, okay.
Mhm.
And you have a very interesting feature called disaster recovery. In a disaster recovery, your database is
Mhm.
now located in West US, right? You remember
Okay.
we created in West US. I want this also database should be available in a East US, okay? East US also as a disaster recovery, okay? So I can do that, okay. So I'll be demonstrating that, okay. Up to 4 readable secondary locations. Here also same case almost, but here active geo replication, active geo, this is almost the same. um, this is OLTP is a kind of memory utilization one, which is not applicable in basic and standard, but available in premium case. Okay, maximum concurrent workers are 30. That means 30 users can write to this database. Here 60 to 200, 200 to this. Okay, concurrent workers, and maximum concurrent logins 30. This is almost the same values. Okay, uh, and this is maximum sessions. So that means a user opens something like that, 2 3 websites, and that will establish some kind of sessions in the backend. That is 300 here, 600 here, this. So based on that, he is minting money, right?
Okay. Okay.
So cloud setup and learning easy, but licensing also we should understand. Okay. Now, what did we talk from the last 10-15 minutes? We talked about PaaS. What is a PaaS? Platform as a
Mm-hmm.
service. That means the database is managed by Microsoft. There's no question of database lost or it's not working or something like that. Okay, that's called PaaS.
Mm-hmm.
But now, what is infrastructure as a admin as a service, which is our core method, right? So in this, how do you create? You simply spin up a VM, you install your SQL server. Okay, that's it. That's the SQL server. That's how it runs. Say example, you want to deploy a SSM server. You create a VM for SSM server, one more VM for SQL database. Okay, or in the same
Yes.
SSM server you can install database. So nobody stops you to hey, don't install or something like that. Okay, you want
Yes.
some own collations, all those things, you create your own VM, very similar to your on premises, right? Because you will have full control. That's I mean, if you remember the first class, the PaaS and the infrastructure as an admin, that's a difference, right? You have full control on a VM with the applications in infrastructure as service, whereas a PaaS, uh, you can't control the SQL where it is hosted, and or you can't have a control on collation, or maybe some kind of internal component level you can't control because it is
Yes.
hosting somewhere in a VM. We never know that VM is maybe dedicated to someone or maybe shared to us. We never know. Okay,
Okay.
so if you look at here, the differences between PaaS and infrastructure service is the same thing. Overheadache is minimized in a PaaS, but here uh, lower in case if you need any of the infrastructure support, it's lower in fact. Okay, and the cost
Okay.
is minimized here, lower, because you'll have full control. Okay, provisioning time is
Mm-hmm.
minimized here, low. Here features selection when compared with your on premises, you don't have a control because it's a PaaS, right? Here you have full control as on premises. Similarly, networking, you can do it. You can go for high scalable in the both the options. Okay, these things are available.
Okay.
You may have a question now, can I have a VM with SQL as a template? Okay, I don't want
SQL
to
as a
install,
template.
yeah, I don't want to install a VM, then download my SQL server and then install my SQL. I don't want to do that. Do I have ready-made VM with a SQL install? Yes, you have that in a marketplace. Okay,
Mm.
so you go here, okay, um, in a compute section. Okay, here, if you see here,
SQL Server.
SQL Server with Enterprise Edition, okay, basically on a Windows Server. If you deploy this, what would happen is um, you are paying actually for SQL Server, okay, as well as to a VM, both.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Okay.
you'll be licensed for that. Okay,
Okay.
deploying is the same steps, other than they just the SQL Server as additional, uh, case here, right? One, two, three,
Okay.
four. We used to have now one, two, three, four, five. So one step extra almost. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we talked about the SQL Server. Let's go to the SQL database. Do we have the new database? Yes, we have the second
Yes.
DB. Okay. Can I connect to the database? Yes, you can connect it. How do you connect? So the service link you would be giving. So in fact, we did already connect it here, right? So if I do a refresh, actually, I should be able to get the new database.
Second. Yes.
Okay, and this has some tables. In fact, see here, because we downloaded the We install the what? We install the sample database, which is Northwind database. So we have some data here. Okay,
Okay.
right? So that is into the SQL side. Now you may have a question that let me connect to my SQL database, which is my local this time. So I do have SQL, which is in my local machine, connecting local server. So this machine itself, a local, this my workplace machine has a SQL server. Okay, install in
Okay.
this my machine. Okay, I might
Mm-hmm.
have some databases. Let's have a look on it. Yeah, I have MyDB 8647 is my database. Okay, I have some tables. See here, demo table, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a demo table. Let me see what is there here. Select this query. So I have demo user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, some like something like these tables are also available. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is forget about the cloud one. Okay, forget about this. Okay, don't see on that part. Okay, now you have your on premises. This is on premises, right? So this
Yeah.
database is on premises, hosted some database. Okay, you want to migrate to cloud.
Okay.
How do you do that? So that's the next class. So that's the topic now. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So as simple as that, you have two options, in fact, okay, to migrate. One would be the simply open up a query analyzer, go to the tasks. You have export option, export data. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. See next. Hey, this. Here you have direct Azure one. One second. Uh,
Deploy
deploy
database
database
to
to
Microsoft.
database. So if I choose this, okay, uh, what would happen is if you see, as I already told, this is nothing but your Azure,
Cloud.
right?
Azure.
Azure DB, right? So this is on-premises DB. That's how they colored. So from on-premises to here, simple. Click next. So what happens is this wizard would guide me to. Excuse me, it's not taking. Yeah. Now it is asking where do you want to deploy. Hey, definitely I want to deploy to the cloud. If so, give me the connection string. You got a connection string. So if you have a connection string, that's fine. If not, you see connect. Okay, this would connect to my database, which is 507, right? With that username and password, say connect. So this gets automatically established the backend connection string, and this is the database. So what is the database name you want to give it? So in a cloud, what is the database you want to create? Say example, in a cloud, I want this time maybe my on-prem migration TB example. Okay. Now what is happening is actually it is running something called backpack. Okay, so backpack is a batching kind of script. Okay, which runs import export. First it exports everything to a temporary folder here in this case. Okay, and then the same thing gets uploaded to your cloud. Okay, so the first option would be if what are the possible options you have to migrate on premises to SQL. One is using backpack, other one is this method, which is uh, export database to Azure, which is
One
this.
question. Okay.
Anna.
Yeah. Uh, Suppose we are migrating our on-premise database to cloud. Okay.
Hmm.
Assume that I had got 500 GB data. Assume. Okay.
Okay.
Which I need to migrate to cloud. So
Okay.
migration part will be also chargeable or it is not chargeable?
Good question, Anna. Okay, a really good question. It will be chargeable, Anna. Okay, data is coming.
Uh,
Okay, so it is chargeable,
okay.
Anna.
So ఇక్కడ సీక్వెల్ డేటాబేస్ బేసిక్ లో తీసుకొని మాక్సిమం డేటాబేస్ మనం ఎంత తీసుకోవచ్చానా లేకపోతే
ఇది సేమ్ అన్న మన
స్పెసిఫిక్ ఏమైనా?
మన గుర్తుకుందా DTU. This is nothing but your DTU.
ఓకే.
So
ఓకే.
DTU
ఓకే.
method. So I can say go for standard. So maybe one database size 1 GB or 250, whatever the plan. Then S1 maybe.
ఓకే.
Okay.
ఓకే.
This is my own method of having the database size. So I can say maybe 100 GB is max. Okay. Later point you can extend it. Okay. You can scale up, scale down. I'm gonna do that later. Post the migration, we'll replicate this database to different cloud regions.
ఓకే.
Okay. Now simply this is my database name. I'll say next. So this takes actually import, export, or backpack task. So this takes a lot of time to uh, uh, copy here and then move to cloud. Okay, I think I clicked on next, but still taking some time. Yeah, I got this button now. So are you sure that you want to do it? The current source is just the 16 MB, and your choosing is 100 with this plan. Are you okay? Yeah, I should have the free space also. I have free space. So finish. So now I get a proper logging what is happening. A log gets filled for next 5 minutes because this is very less in size of the database, right? If you have a heavy in a size, it runs, it takes a lot of time in fact. Okay, so it's going. So this is actually doing in the temp. Okay, so whatever the now post migration, I should get these 4 records with this table in my cloud database. This is my cloud database. If I say connect or refresh, I should be able to get here one more database. In fact, I'm getting here already database, right? So in this database, I should have a table, okay, which should come here, populate. It's not it, in fact, so because it's still running, okay. Post to migration, I should be able to see here my table. Take some time. Yeah, looks like it has done. So if you see here closely, everything is done. You can close that. Now if I refresh here, or maybe no, let's refresh top so that I get everything here. So here I got table, which is demo users table. So if I select top 1000 rows, saying query execute to this table, I got all the users. And if I go back to my databases, I should see here one more database if I refresh. Okay, right? Now we have a database. Now this database so critical. Think that this is so critical. So I want to replicate geo replicate. That means currently it is located in West US, right?
Yes.
So now I want this to replicate to Singapore. Select the Singapore. Okay. Okay, South Asia and readable format. Okay. Target server is there's no target server. You create one more server to my secondary DB example. Okay, this should be unique, so definitely it will not be secondary LAN 507. Okay, okay. So whatever the server name you want to give, say example. Select. So to this server, the data completely in a format of readable format, it gets replicated. So enable. Now what is
Okay.
happening? You see a very nice, diagram copying my database to Singapore database, right? If something goes to this region, okay, my data is safe at this location, right?
Yes.
So this is so easy enough. Earlier we should use the replication, all those things, which is a headache for SQL DB person. Now it's so easy. Similarly, if I want one more location, I can choose one more location. So this
Okay.
Central US, okay, my target server, I can create one more server. I can
Mm-hmm.
simply replicate, or let's change my service plan for my current database. I can go for my current database
Mm-hmm.
plan from one service to another service, maybe so S2 if I'm going, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I can change so I don't have the what do you say uh, pricing is not allowing me to change, but if I go down, I'm able to go because the trial has limitations, as I said. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
clear
Mm-hmm. Yes.
till S1 only. Okay, so if you have enterprise exam enterprise license, you can accept that. We don't want to go there. Okay, so I did show the already the replication one. That's a geographical replication. That's good. Now what is DTU, geo-replication. The database is safe one location to other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this database also can be again replicate to some other location in a readable format. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
active
Okay.
active also possible, if you remember the slide. um, this one if I'm correct, yeah. Active active also possible, if you have the premiums, basically not the these. Okay, that means
Mm-hmm.
if database is corrupted, okay, or collapsed at this point of time in maybe in US, okay, the data is already available here. Okay, but in this
Mm-hmm.
case we are setting
Okay.
up the readable now. So once the replication is done, a straight line is there for us, right? So now talking about the threat analysis. So the database, since we are putting into the what do you say, we are configuring in the cloud. Okay, there could be a thread, right? So you can audit can be done for the $15 post post 60 days trial. Okay, the first 60 days is trial for us, so we can choose that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever the storage you want get created, storage account. So a storage account is also getting created in this case, or we can use the existing one. If you have any threads, um, threads will be there, it can alert for you. Okay, SQL injection, all kind of threading things. This is very costly, or very costly security design one if you're trying to do it in your on premises. So Microsoft giving you ready-made formats, example. Okay, so you can save that, you can send your emails, security alerts
Mm-hmm.
also.
Okay.
Okay, so this would go for that. Auditing and threading,
Mm-hmm.
this is for again this is for the vulnerability. Okay, if anything is there, okay, if anything is there here, you can choose in your storage account, say example. Okay, so I'm just choosing as len 508 storage account. So I can go for the vulnerability within the any kind of vulnerability within my database or my SQL server. I can find out here, and the same can be these are the interview questions, Swami, in fact. Okay, so the one is the
Okay.
vulnerability and the security. How do you know make sure that uh, it is fully secured, because you're putting everything in a cloud. So you would
Okay.
choose all these. Oh, sorry. So here, no checks were done, nothing was done, no scanning was done. Okay, cancel. Let me. I can choose my existing. So this is basically more useful for the SQL admin side, right? I did not click the earlier save, so let's click on save so that it saves that account. Okay, so there actually the reports would now I can scan my assessment. So do you know Microsoft Wrap?
Yes.
So more
Yes.
than Wrap, what it does actually, the code is the same. Okay, Microsoft Wrap. Okay, so Microsoft for Windows Wrap or SCCM Wrap. Okay, or SQL Server also has a wrap. Okay, that is what nothing but the vulnerability assessment. Okay, it does that now.
Okay. So mm, instead of running the trap on our
On
physical servers,
premises.
it will be wrapped on in cloud.
Yeah, because that is also a matter for us, right? Running security and maybe configuration problems, vulnerability. Okay, all the things it would tell you. Okay, so let's leave that. Okay. Oh, successfully executed, and it found two failing checks. SQL threat detection should be enabled. We have not enabled that. DBO user should not be used for normal service operation. Okay, so you can remediate right from here. Okay, um, it gives you more information. So approve as a baseline. So that would change your settings basically. Okay, so if you want more information, remediation link will be there. Okay, so here you can on threat detection. Okay, so if you enable this, it would change the settings. Okay, on threat detection, on all threats, all kind of threats you should allow. So save. So if this works, actually the fail to save, because earlier also we got the email is not there. Okay, you have to give the proper name. Okay, so here you can give this and save. So this would save your thing. Okay, so that's about the assessment. So now assessment gave one. If you rerun, that should uh, that should actually change the status for the SQL, right? So if you rerun this, okay, so at least one should go off. Okay, so this is into the security side. Okay, now let's go to the masking is if you have multiple tables. Okay, you want to execute, you can do that. Okay, let's leave this the transparency data encryption. If you want encrypt the database, okay, database backups, all those things, you can enable this encryption. So it is recommended. Again, connection string. So if you are a developer and you want to know what is the connection string to connect to this. Okay, this is a connection string. However, you have to change your username and the password here, which is actual one, so that you can connect to the SQL server. Okay, you can sync to other databases. Okay, um, And yeah, that's it, to the database size. For more into the performance side, you can check the database how it is running. Okay, how much details maybe useful, when it is running, what kind of actions you have. Okay, performance recommendations if you want. You can go for automation. Okay, so create index. These are the SQL admins guys normally do, right? DB admins. Okay, for creating admin, indexing, all those things. So if you want, you can create your own, indexing so that uh, it won't, set that performance settings.
Okay.
Okay, this is the one which I was, saying. I want to run some kind of queries. Example. See, there is a query which runs transaction query which is running a lot of time. Okay, total 12 queries found. Okay, it is taking very less account. If any of the queries taking lot of DTU component time, okay, is it CPU or data or log file is taking much time, that can be find out. And what is a query which is taking in milliseconds time, lot of time. So you can customize that later point, that query fine tune can be done. Okay, these are the super secrets all these days for your DB admins. Now it is a single click.
Mm, okay.
So this is the, as I said, automatic tuning. Okay, performance, we talked about performance, how many processor required, how it is using the database load. So I think we talked a lot about the SQL database, and it's time already 10:10. Mm,
Mhm.
if you want more, okay, let's go to the security center. This is another class. Okay, the first thing is
Okay.
security center should be enabled. Okay, so if you enable the security center, it gives you all the recommendations. Okay, what all the things we have done, because you're going to delete now, so maybe this is a good time to um, check the security alerts. Security policies, you can set it. పొద్దున్న ఇక్కడ కూర్చుంటారన్న normally you will be doing everyday work on security to see what is happening in your entire infrastructure.
Okay.
I don't know, it is slow or it doesn't like me maybe. So let's go to another server. Yeah. So if you want to know some kind of remediations, computing section, okay, prevention. There's no VMs. Okay. So add
Mm,
computers. You can, if you have any computers, you can add for the monitoring, so that it will tell what to be done. Okay. Now I want to monitor my networking and analyze some settings. Okay. So all
limit
these
your.
are there. Okay.
Mm,
Still loading it.
I mean, option clarification. It can help.
Chepana. So once we have enabled the security center, we have 5 recommendations. Kada? So,
Yes.
and the storage low, we have 9.
Storage 9.
Okay, so I mean, whatever the components we used, okay, it is showing whatever the risks you have. So you could choose there, enable advanced security for your subscription. Free trial does not
Mm,
have standard, which is gives you all these VM access, adaptive application. If you want, you can upgrade to this per month. It will be charged like this. Okay, but it's a free. We can go for a free trial, so that's fine. Just in time VM. Okay, so all these are the additional will be there. Okay, so you can go for this. So per node it will be charged. So 15 per month. So this is not going to charge now, okay, now, but if you have any VM, you'll have the additional threat detections, okay. This
Mm-hmm.
can be done, okay. And I mean, it is giving the recommendation, and also it is telling you what to be done, okay.
Okay.
So default
Okay.
workspace is not configured anything. If you want connect something else, you can do that, okay. Here data is not collecting, so if it is data is collected, you get more reports on VM, which VM is taking m- lot CPU time, because of that cost is increasing, okay. Or how much the cost may you may get it, or the security loopholes, okay, everything you get it here, okay.
Okay.
So these kind of not everything, but I can explain you. But if you look at the SQL has secondary len database does not have something, okay. So let's see. It says that there's no threat detection was not enabled, okay. You should enable this, okay. So like that, you can
Okay.
enable threat detection, all those things, okay. You can remediate at the end, you're secure. So these recommendations directly from the cloud provider, that means it has really good information, right? So, or recommendation. So if somebody comes and do some kind of audit also, you would be in a green state altogether, right? So these are the best practices which Microsoft recommends you to follow, okay, so that you can secure your environment.
Okay.
Hmm? So these are the security center now, okay. Security center is day-to-day job, like your dashboard kind of thing. You can detect the uh, security issues. So these are just in time VM access. That means for some time, maybe for 5 to 10 minutes, you want to allow somebody to access, you can give that. Or you want to defend that kind of permissions, what he's doing, or you want to get more information on that, you can do it. Threat intelligence is like it's more you need another level of subscription kind of thing. um, at this point of time we don't have anything here, but if you enable upgraded, okay, basically for the next level of security threading, you get more features.
Okay.
So everything is paid, it's not free, okay.
Mhm.
We'll again come back here. In meantime, we can see there's no web applications, nothing. SQL has some recommendations here, security auditing. Since we have allowed some time now, that's why we are getting all these now. Earlier, it was not even loading the data because it was just trying to uh, do the assessment.
Okay.
Okay, you can upgrade standard plan for 60 days for free. Then you get more advanced security. Okay, so that's it, Anna. It's 5 minutes to your time. Okay, 10:30. Okay, it's been long అనుకుంటా ఈరోజు.
కానీ ఫుల్ గా కవర్ చేసాం కదా సీక్వెల్ డేటాబేస్ అనుకోని
సీక్వెల్
మైగ్రేషన్ కూడా.
అవునన్నా, అది నేను డెఫినెట్ గా చెప్పేది అందరికీ చెప్తాను కన్ఫర్మ్ గా, ఎందుకంటే రిక్వైర్డ్ అన్నది, దట్ ఈస్ రిక్వైర్డ్. So database replications we talked about. We talked about web application. We talked about web application directly from the Visual Studio and direct from their IAS, sorry, the portal, and database migrations. And we have talked about the security center. Okay, maximum things already covered. Okay, now we can. It's time maybe to go to Active Directory. Okay, so let's see what is pending actually. Yeah, we'll go to the um, We'll go to Active Directory then. Okay, tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay,
sure,
if
Anish.
you have a time, you create a VM and leave it tomorrow for tomorrow session. Any normal,
Sure, sure,
and
Anish.
then shut it down so tomorrow we can start that VM.
Okay, sure.
Hmm? Okay, no,
Sure,
so that
sure.
it says
Okay,
5 10 minutes max. I think. Hmm?
sure.
Okay, now so tomorrow, maybe 2 minutes if I take it. Tomorrow, what we'll do is we create a domain controller. Okay, and
Okay.
then you will have your own machines, right? On premises. Okay, think that on premises
Okay.
you have your own machine.
Mm-hmm.
So what you'll do, you have a DC. You added the machines. It's working fine. Users able to log in, right? It's working fine. Now, all of a sudden, everybody talking about cloud. So in a cloud, you take a subscription. You have cloud also have something called Azure AD.
Yes.
Okay, you have users here also. Okay, now you also have users from on-premises. Now on-premises users want to access something from here, maybe a web application or maybe
Mm.
some VM. He wants to log in. Okay, since we have a site-to-site VPN example, they wanted to log in
Okay.
example. Okay, so how do control? So this username password should be valid here also. So that's called sync process should be done, right? So we do that. Okay, so that takes
Mm-hmm.
two classes actually. I can't tell you in one class maybe. Two classes is a good way. Okay, for syncing all those setup. Then the second class makes you more clear. Okay, and post to that, you can play with Active Directory, all the location. You join a machine here. A Windows 10 machine will spin up here. We join this machine, which is in on-premises to Azure AD. Okay, I think you're
Okay.
already working on Intune, right? So the same way. Okay, so you
Okay.
spin up here to cloud, and your applications, your web apps, your all the applications which are developed in your cloud should automatically
Okay.
open for the user.
Mm-hmm.
So this takes 2 to 3 classes or 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
Okay, so
Sure.
this is the next the class in a high level. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
okay. So here in Azure AD you have two kind of things. One is a normal users. Okay, other thing is B2C. That is, you have a business. You also have a consumer. Say example, your company is Britannia Biscuit Company. Okay, you are doing some business. Consumers want to access something. How do you give? You have a company called labor company. Okay, there's a labor resource providing company. Okay, so these two companies,
Mm-hmm.
how they coordinate. So that's called B2B,
Okay.
business to business, business to consumer. Okay, how
Okay.
do you allow them also to? Earlier, what we thought is on-premises AD users, you're trying to allow them to access the cloud applications. That's good. How about business to business? Your company is maybe Tata company, okay, but Tata selling something. So the users want to log in with their identity, maybe a Facebook kind of thing. Okay, business to business. Say example, your company is Tata, this company is HCL, so they want to
Mm-hmm.
do some business there because because the client gave the contract to two different vendors. How they manage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a B2B.
Okay.
So B2C. Okay, so AD. So at the end, what we are trying to explain, what we are trying to do in the next classes in AD is how you are allowing user to access cloud application. Simple. At the high level, just to tell you in one word, how you are allowing either the users coming from Facebook or from your on-premises or from a different company or within the company, and then you need to grant them the
Okay.
applications.
Mm-hmm.
So there are
Okay.
multiple ways. So uh, the identity is servers are increasing, okay, but you need to
Mm-hmm.
control that as an active directory admin or AD
Okay.
or a cloud admin now.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, Nana? So that's it enough for
Got
today.
it. Got it.
Hmm? We'll catch you
Sure.
tomorrow then. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. Before that, any doubts from today class?
ఇదే అన్న నాకు ఫీడ్స్ ప్లస్ ఎలా అప్రోచ్ అవ్వాలి
అది
అదొకటి.
నేను చెప్తాను.
ఈ రోజు ఈ రోజు డౌట్స్ అంటే నేను ఒకసారి మొత్తం సీక్వెల్ డేటాబేస్ ఇంకా డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ ఆప్షన్స్ స్లాట్స్ వెబ్ అప్లికేషన్ క్రియేషన్ ఇది మొత్తం ఒకసారి చూసుకుంటాను. నేను ఆల్రెడీ చూసి నేను డిలీట్ చేశాను. సో
ఓకే.
ఈ రోజు అన్ని చూసుకొని రేపు
షూర్.
రమ్మని
అన్న ఈ రోజువి నువ్వు డెలీట్ చేసేసుకో రీసోర్సెస్. ఓకే. ఇఫ్ యూ
ఓకే
కీప్ లైక్ దట్ అట్లీస్ట్ ద సీక్వెల్ డెలీట్ చేసుకో. ఇఫ్ యూ కీప్ లైక్ దట్ టుమారో యూ మే లూజ్ అరౌండ్ 2000.
చేస్తాను.
Okay, I think today is 7,000 you have. Okay, na? Right, Namari. Bye.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Okay.